Now, we are delighted here on the Southern Star podcast to be joined by a very busy football captain ahead of the current account of the All Ireland Ladies Football Junior Final, and that is Naomh Abán's Una Twohig, who joins us here to preview their big showdown with Salthill-Knocknacarra this Sunday. Una, you're very welcome to the Southern Star podcast. How are you?
I'm good, Jared. Thanks for having me on.
Lovely to talk to you again. As we were saying just before we started recording, Naomh Abán are the last remaining Cork ladies football team in any competition at this time of the year, which is rare, but it also brings a bit more attention. So I'd say you've been busy as a captain and your team dealing with a bit more media coverage than you'd be used to at this time of the year.
Yeah, I guess you suppose you could say that, right? Look, it's great. It's great that we're still in the All Ireland and that we are the only Cork team in it. It gives a bit more light on Naomh Abán and the club itself, and how the clubs come strength to strength and our underage teams and stuff like that. But sure, look, no one's used to this media train, so we'll just take it as it comes, really, to be honest. But just loving every moment of it at the moment now.
Yes, and probably the best way to treat it at the moment, because what a year it's been for you. Before we talk about what's to come, have you had a chance to stop and think about what's happened? Because I remember talking to you after beating O'Donovan Rossa in a beautifully sunlit MTU, sun-kissed MTU, when you became county junior champions. Since then, you've gone on to win the Munster in pretty nasty conditions. And the last day I was on the pitch also to watch you get reach an All-Ireland junior final in your home parish against Castleblaney Falls from Mangan. So you've played in pretty much 4 seasons and a bit more to get to this point. But what a run. What a run it's been.
It is. And I don't think we've stopped to take it in at the moment, just to see how far we've come and what we've reached and stuff like that. But you're just kind of taking every day as it comes. You're just treating every game as another game that we have to win and stuff. But probably come next Sunday or Saturday even, it'll be a different ball game. There'll be butterflies fluttering around and stuff. But to say this has been a remarkable year is something else. Between with our minors getting off to the winning start last December, I think it was the 8th of December, they won their first county to our under 21s, and now to us going on to the All Ireland. It's just, I don't think anyone in the club realised we could get this far really at the start of the year.
Yeah, it's as you said, like, I mean, even the under 21 success, probably, in the underage success that you got. I know Noel, your manager, Noel McDonough, keeps referring back to that winning that county was a kind of a breaking, a good breakthrough for the group of players that are now part of this adult junior team, senior team. I think this has been coming, though, because I think there's such a good panel of players there, and I think you'd agree with me on that. You're not over reliant on one or two people for scores in all the games. There's a good spread of scores, and that the general overall, quality of the panel, and that's the 30 plus players. You needed that because, God, you've had some amount of matches this year.
We have, and that's it. Yeah, we keep going back to the success of the underage grades and stuff, but I think it was for the older side of the team to see them coming through and to see the potential that they have, that they just needed that bit of calmness when they do step up to the junior and stuff. So we're able to push through that mental block that we probably had for the last 2 or 3 years, that we just couldn't get past the semi-finals of the county and stuff. But the talent on the team from 1 to 30 is something extraordinary. Like, the fact we could easily probably win intermediate if everyone played exactly how they could play at training, but when big games come, obviously, of course, you get the nerves get the best of us and stuff. But and that's a great thing. We're not reliant on one person up and forward. We have at least 5 or 6 players running off of someone, so it'll make a really hard defense to try and mark, when you have 6 or 7 running at you and stuff. So it's great.
And you're not bad at the back either, as you've so politely decided to avoid, because you're quite a good defense. It's the one thing I spoke about last week as well against Castleblaney Falls from Monaghan, and what a battle that was from start to finish. I mean, you eventually won out 12 points to 7, but in difficult conditions, a heavy pitch. You're at home as well, at being at home, I think, as well. I mean, that brings the added pressure, Una. Did you feel that added pressure coming into it? Look, the pitch inside out, the whole parish and more turned out. It was a fantastic atmosphere because Castleblaney brought a huge crowd with them as well. But for a lot of the younger girls, I would imagine, on your panel, they may not have experienced, or even the older girls, that level of, a crowd, of an atmosphere, and the importance, and of course the caveat of an All-Ireland final for the winners. Like, you handled it, obviously, because you won 12 points to 7, but you also managed to shut down a very, very potent attack and kept them to 7 points. I mean, that's serious going. But talk to me about just the build up to that semi-final in Ballyvourney, because it was huge excitement, but a lot of added pressure.
a lot of added pressure, just a small bit of added pressure of like, if you're going down to the shop and then you've every single person saying best to luck Saturday, we're just so used to flying under the radar that like, oh, they have another game, that's fine, there's nothing major happening there. But yeah, like it didn't really, like, because we were saying it on the Thursday before the game that it doesn't feel like an All-Ireland semi-final, which is a good thing. I think we were focused on the game and the jobs we had to do in hand and stuff. And but then when everyone started arriving into the pitch on the Sunday and all the stewards were out and all the flags were out and stuff, it kind of slowly started to sink in that it was a big deal. And then when we were warming up and stuff, and the stand was, I'd say, nearly 3/4 of the way full, like running out into the pitch for the start of the game, I don't think any player has experienced that crowd or cheer at a home game, let alone like if you're even playing county and stuff. But it was absolutely fabulous to see every single person that came out to support us, and including the Castleblayney that brought down their, I think, 2 full busloads. They came down with them as well. So it's just great to see such support as well coming back into ladies football and stuff at club level for junior. So it's wonderful.
Certainly is. I think you're playing it down though, because I think I even noticed. I know you're the captain, so you've got to. You've been told by your manager as well, I'd imagine. But coming into Ballyvourney and seeing all those flags and everything, I was the same. I was kind of going, okay, this is obviously an All-Ireland semi-final. It's a big deal, and it's a different time of the year as well, because it's so late in the year. And you've been going since January. That's one of the things, Una, from speaking to the players on the pitch afterwards. Each of them kind of earmarked the fact that you've been going since January, if not before it. Now you're coming up on 12 months. I know you're not going every weekend, but between winning a junior championship in the Cork LGFA, which is one of the toughest championships to win because there's so many good teams in there, including yourselves, to come out of that and then to go on and win Munster and now to reach an All-Ireland, that's not an easy thing to do at all. But when you look back now, when you started, if it was roughly around January, like, can you believe now that here we are 11 months later, you're in an All-Ireland final? The year must have flown for you, but I mean, you've been together quite a long time to get to this point, and you needed to stick together to get to this point. But that's a long time to be on the road too.
It is. And like even back in January when we did start training and coming in together, some girls were slow to come back because it was so early, and they're just resting up the body and stuff. So it was kind of, I would say, we didn't hit the ground running in January like we were setting out to win the All-Ireland. We just said, slowly give girls a chance to come back, slowly building the league, look at things that we have to work on and stuff. And then obviously our main goal was to win the championship. But as you say, like everything, and I know it's such a cliche, everything after championship is a cherry on top, but it honestly is. And I think that's how we're treating it as well. So that's like no one's getting too big for their boots or anything like that. We're just taking every game as it comes. We analyze our own game of where like Noel is great to say, yeah, he played well, but he's also great to say we've 4 more points that we need to pick up, that if we got, we need to work on these straight away. So like it's a good mixture of excitement but staying grounded and just knowing that we're still not there yet. We still have 1 more game to go, and then come Sunday we'll relax and just enjoy the Christmas then. But like getting into, as you say, we're nearly 12 years on it, and you're getting into training and you're hearing Christmas songs being played and you're like soaking wet from the pitch. I don't think we've ever experienced that before, so it's a strange but wonderful experience.
Yeah, well put, actually. It is quite strange. And it is quite late in the year, as you said. Talk to me about Noel McDonough, your manager, and the management team, because the aftermatch interview he gave me immediately after beating Castleblayney Falls and reaching an All-Ireland final and doing all the things you've just spoken about, you would not have guessed. He's just the coolest customer ever. I doubt, Una, he's that cool all the time, but he certainly is very cool when he deals with me and other members of the media. We're very appreciative of how well you've interacted with the media. You've made our life very easy, including Noel. But talk to me, how is he getting on in the build up to this, or can you tell me?
No, and like that is like what you see is what you get with Noel. He is very calm and cool, and like he is a knowledge of football that we're only delighted that he's able to share out with us and stuff. And he'll break down any game that we played since the county. He's broken down the players. He's broken down where they're threatening, where we need to work, and where we can attack on them and stuff like that. But as you say, like he is as cool as he is with us. There's no seriousness. There's no shouting. It's all just, nice and relaxed. There's a bit of crack at training every time. So, and he's always want to get stuck into training with us. So I'd say when you see that as well, it kind of just, it brings us closer together as a team as well. And as for the rest of the management, it's just, everyone's just so excited and happy that, like, they're just treating it like a normal game. And it's not like we don't appreciate that we're in the All-Ireland and stuff, but I think if we think about it too much, the nerves could get the better of us. So we're just kind of, it's another game on Sunday. We just go out, play our best, stick to our game plan, and then hopefully we'll come out champions.
How easy a team is it for Noel McDonagh to manage? I mean, obviously there's a bond there because you've won quite a lot this year, and I know you've celebrated, and I know you're not going to tell me about the celebrations even if I try to ask. But I could see even in the aftermath of the Castleblaney Falls and the All-Ireland semi-final win, all the parents and then people that came on to say thanks to you and to congratulate. Like, it was a real nice moment to have those fans on the field with you immediately. I know you were all wrecked tired and you wanted to get back to the dressing room, but there was no hope of that happening because so many people wanted to say well done to you. But within the dressing room, I know there's crack and I know there's banter, but are you an easy team to coach now? And remember, you're the captain here, so you've free reign.
No, I'll be polite. I think we are, to the fact, as a girls team, there's always going to be chit chat. There's always going to be gossip. You're not going to have a quiet training when you train a ladies football team. And Noel and the rest of the lads understand that. So, like, obviously, when they're telling us points and stuff, we have to listen to it. We will listen to it, but then in 2 minutes' time, someone could be talking about something that happened on TV. So there is a great bond between the team as well. Because there's such a kind of variance of ages. That you wouldn't even think of when you're on the team itself. Everyone talks about everything. There's no bad blood between everyone, and I think that kind of shows as well from coming from a small community and area that everyone knows everyone. So they only want the best for each other. And then, as you said, when all the parents and the kids and everyone came onto the pitch after the game last weekend, it was just, you just nearly break down crying with the happiness of everybody around and the joy in Bellavorny and surrounding areas. It's just remarkable.
It certainly was. That's lovely. That's well put as well. I mean, I saw it firsthand, and I saw it when you won the county title, what it meant. But certainly reaching an All-Ireland final for a lot of people. And as you said, the difference in the age scales, I think within the actual panel of Naomh Abán has been a big help to you, because a lot of you have been on the road a while. Without aging it, but a lot of the younger girls probably look to you in tight situations, and probably I think a lot of you, without naming names now because there's so many good players on your team, I think a lot of players have grown up in the last 2 or 3 months and had to grow up very quickly, because it's very difficult to win a county title, whatever about the physicality of it. But when you get into Munster and you get into this stage, as you probably can attest, it's a whole different ball game. But you must be pleased with how the young players in the panel have reacted and grown up as it is over the last couple of months.
I am, and I, like, exactly as you said, like, winning Cork County was great and stuff, but it was still just kind of the jitterness and stuff that when you get out of your comfort zone of the county, you start to see how girls handle pressure. If they get too, you can start to get to know their tells, that if they're too nervous or if they're just too anxious about something. So I couldn't be more than thrilled and delighted for the girls that every game they played, they're just, that sense of calmness is coming on, the maturity is coming on. They just, how many times it's drilled into their heads, take that extra second on the ball. They're actually doing it now. So it's, it's great to see that in such a short space of time that they've probably grown up in probably what could have been 3 years of football if we hadn't won Cork County. But at that, then again, like, it's that bond between the players that they can look to the older ones to say, just to double check something, is this the right thing to do, or should I be here, should I be out in the wing and stuff like that. So it's a good mix now that we have on the team of calmness and fitness and young ones that can run around all day.
Calmness, yeah, and young ones are coming around there. Well put by the captain. You're the calmness, are you?
Yeah, I'm the one at the back, telling you what to do.
I think you might be hearing a bit more about this interview afterwards, Una. We'll see anyway. We're talking on today. Let's quickly look ahead to this All-Ireland, the current account.ie All-Ireland LGFA Junior Football Final. Naomh Abán, the Cork representatives, taking on Salthill-Knocknacarra, famous name now from Galway. And as I was saying to you before we started recording, it's amazing to me that this is their first ladies football All-Ireland final, because it's such a famous name. And I know from watching Kilmallock and Clonberne over the last couple of years, certainly the team that beat Mourneabbey, the mighty Mourneabbey at senior level, there's no bad team that comes out of Connacht, let alone Galway, at this time of the year. So you know the kind of challenge that lies ahead. I know you've seen their semi-final. irrespective of who it was going to be in the All-Ireland final, it was always going to be a tough game anyway, a cliche alert. But from what you've seen of Salthill, from what you know, little or much, whatever you know about them, you already know, Una, and so does your management team, that this is probably the stiffest challenge you're going to have all year. But look, you're in an All-Ireland final, and why not?
And that's it. Like, of course, it's going to be absolutely, like, you're not coming into an Ireland final just to be in an Ireland final. You're coming in to win it. Like, so we know it's going to go absolutely down to the wire at the end of the day. And the only thing that stands to us is that all of our games up till now haven't been walkovers. They've been close. We've had to work for it. So we're hoping that will stand to us as well. But from what we know with Salthill and things is that, look, they're a young team like ourselves. They're fit. They're just after coming off the back of winning the intermediate camogie last year and stuff, so they're still on the high with that. Come game dates, you just don't know what way it's going to go. But hopefully now that we've the work done, that we'll just settle down to our normal game plan of how we build up from the back and attack then straight out and things. But we'll do a little bit more homework on them right now this week, just to make sure we're all safe and sound. But I'd say it's in for a cracker of a game on Sunday.
It certainly is going to be a cracker of a game in Kilmallock and County Limerick on Sunday, and we're expecting another huge crowd. I've no doubt that the parish of Ballyvourney and surrounding areas are going to come and support you. And what a lovely moment, way to end the year, an All-Ireland final, something, as you said, you couldn't have envisaged at the start of the year. But generally the teams that get to those finals, Una, from my experience, it's probably better off that they didn't, because you play with that little bit less fear. It's obviously going to be a big occasion and a huge occasion for everybody in the club and associated with them. It's just the thought of actually lifting an All-Ireland trophy after the year you've had would cap everything off. But I know you don't want to say that, but considering where Naomh Abán have come from in terms of ladies football and where you are, it's been a fantastic run, not just this year, and it hasn't taken just this year's success of Cork and Munster and hopefully All Ireland. A lot of groundwork has been done in the last number of years at underage level. I know you'd want to pay tribute to the people behind the scenes as well, who we don't often see in Naomh Abán, who've made this happen.
Exactly, and it's like, it might look great this year, but it's been a hard fought year for the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 years nearly. This group of players have been together, and Noel coming in, Tomas Murphy has been with us, I'd say, since Naomh Abán ladies football started back in Eon days. So, for the people that have been behind the scenes for 10 to 15 years, it's wonderful to finally see us getting the success and recognition that is needed. But like, as you say, it's just, you don't think about it at the start of the year, and nor have we thought about it during the year. Even the Munster final, you never envision yourself lifting the County Cup or the Munster Cup or anything like that. But to be able to do it now is just something else, and to know that we have the talent and we have the need to go on and win the All-Ireland is just, it's something great to be putting back into the club again. And even at the game the last day, like, all the underage teams, girls and boys, couldn't be more than happy to be coming on and saying well done to us, and signing their gloves and stuff like that, which we've never experienced at all before. So it's just absolutely wonderful.
Excellent, and deservedly, thoroughly deserved, considering the effort that's been put in since the start of the year. But look, ahead of this Sunday's County All-Ireland LGFA Junior Football Final between Cork champions Naomh Abán and Galway champions Salthill-Knocknacarra, Una Twohig, captain of Naomh Abán, everybody in the Southern Star and inside and outside the Southern Star, West Cork and beyond, wishes you all the best, the very best of luck. And hopefully the next time we're having a chat, we can talk about your third time lifting a trophy, and maybe you can tell me a bit more about the celebrations as well.
I promise I will if we win the All-Ireland, definitely. Thanks,
Good
Ger.
stuff, Una. Thanks very much for your time.
No bother.